Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, March 10th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about this tool and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, first just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live class that I'm offering on Thursday. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader to get better results, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click on. So definitely get signed up for the free class if you're enjoying what you see. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, the market is still open for a little bit of time. So as I go through the charts, you'll notice the price over here changing on these along with the shape of the candlestick moving around. So keep that in mind. And then next, I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time in case you're a beginner. And the reason I like to do these when the market's still open for a little bit is sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day type price movement. But the market is close enough to being done for the day where everything I talk about will still be relevant as we head into Thursday. So first one here, ticker symbol CEI. I've been tracking this one very closely. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched past ones. But these lines here should look familiar. And really everything I talked about previously came into play today and is still relevant going into Thursday. First area of relevancy is that resistance trend line right there. You can see that midday price did make a move up to that general area, but sure didn't hit it exactly, but certainly got close. And then after that, got rejected right back down. So point here being that's still going to be that main area of resistance right now, valued right around, let's call it the 115-ish mark. So 115 going to be the general area of resistance, based on that trend line from a breakout standpoint. And then as far as supports are concerned, I mean, check this out. You can't make this stuff up. Bounce number one off the green line that I talked about. Bounce number two. Now, are charts perfect? No, nothing is a perfect tool. But are they a tool that definitely makes life a bit easier, that helps you structure logical trade plans? Absolutely, and this is a great example of that. So as far as supports are concerned, nothing new here other than the fact of, this dollar mark did prove to be support on a couple of occasions today. But if there is any sort of type of bounce, then it's all about can the price break up through that resistance level? So we'll see what happens. Next one here, IMPP. Did this one a few days ago, and that's where these annotations are coming into play, but they're both, they've served their purpose for now. And from a clutter perspective, or I should say anti-clutter perspective, let's just get these lines out of here as I don't want to have lines everywhere you look. But a couple of key levels here that I think a lot of people will be watching. And the first level here is this nice little uptrend line that has been established after today. So actually, let me get that changed to green to represent more so a bullish attribute of things. But overall, that's going to be a level that, as long as the price stays above there, then by definition, the price is increasing in value. Because you could have the price come up here, then come all the way back down there. Shoot all the way up there, come all the way back down there. And you notice that as long as it's above that green line, technically speaking, the price would still be putting in those higher lows, which is progress, right? And from a bullish standpoint, you want to see progress being made in the upwards direction. So keep an eye on that support level right there. If the price does get down to that trend line and breaks down below it, especially if it's a higher volume break, then at that point, I could very realistically see this thing getting down into the mid threes, if not even lower threes. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself because so far so good. The price is hanging above that trend line there. As far as breakout points are concerned, key level to watch, going to be this level right here at the $6 mark. So in technical terms, have ourselves the resistance there. You have ourselves the support right there. So this would be a little ascending triangle pattern that we have. So if you like to play ascending triangles, if you like to play, stocks that are trading down below $10, then I definitely have this one on your watch list. Next one, NIO, and a very good day today, not just because it was green in a big way, but from a technical point of view, actually made a very significant move by not only being able to get up to this area of resistance, which I talked about previously, but then being able to break above it and stay up above it, which is a good sign. Now, yes, there's still more work that needs to be done, but this was certainly a big step in the right direction. So I'll go ahead and get that line out of there and make the first update. And this update is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So in order for this chart, if you were to say, Clay, what's going to have this chart look the absolute strongest, absolute healthiest moving forward, that would be staying above that green line. Because even if the price came down here and bounced around, I mean, think about what you would still have. You'd still have, generally speaking, resistance there, the support there. You'd have the momentum move right there, and you'd still have a little bull flag pattern. Now, is it a do or die level for the price to stay above 1975? I'm not going to say that because you still do technically have the purple line down there, the 50-period moving average, which could serve as support. But again, from an ideal standpoint, what would make the chart look the best? Certainly staying above 1975. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, it's now all about that pink line up there, which is the famous, very well-known 200-period moving average, currently valued at, we'll just call it $21.40. So keep an eye on that. But all in all, very, very impressive day today. Next one, SBFM, and I like this one because there's some very well-defined areas, and as a whole, becomes a pretty well-defined pattern. So I want to be very clear when I draw out this pattern. I'm not trying to imply or impress you like this is a great skill I have or this is some sort of secret discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you a bunch of people have drawn these lines, which is important because when a bunch of people are watching the same things, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very nice movement. So the first level here that I assure you a bunch of people have drawn is that trend line right there. They're looking at that as a potential breakout point. And then the level of support that's been drawn is something, give or take, like that. Now, I don't think the support level is as important because from a breakout standpoint, it's more so about that resistance line up there. But to keep this all the same color, so again, we have a resistance there, we have our support here, we have the big momentum move right there. Make this a little visual, put the golf hole down there. So we have ourselves a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennant patterns, again, down in the below $5 range, then this is one that I would definitely say to get on your watch list. Next one, AMC, and I would consider today a good, solid day. Obviously nothing explosive, but by no means anything terrible at all. Because going into today, a big valid worry was, okay, yeah, nice bounce on Tuesday, sure, but it started to pull back. So at this point, it was a question of, okay, but is this pullback just a leading indicator where this thing's just going to roll right back and break through those levels of support? And we got our answer today. No, it wasn't. It actually leveled off and then made a new move upwards. Now, did it explode? No, but did it completely sacrifice all the gains that it had made on Tuesday? Absolutely not. Now, there is still a big dynamic here that needs to be done and addressed, and that is this purple line, which I've talked about in past videos as a level of resistance, and this is exactly why. You can see the price got right up to, the power of charts. Look at that. That purple line just continued to press the price further and further downwards. Now, that doesn't mean that the price can never, ever get up above that level, but that's just an area that it makes sense why the price is still struggling around that general area. So right there from $16 to $16.15, going to be the main area of resistance. But if the price can push above that level and start to stay above it, that would definitely be a very nice sign that this current bounce right now is not only, continuing to bounce, obviously, but just gaining that much more power. So keep an eye on that. And then nothing has changed from a support standpoint. Still have this support zone down here, which, of course, you don't want to see the price break down through there. But as of now, as I talked about, price isn't anywhere close to that area, which is a good sign in and of itself. Next one here, OXY, and this one is on the watch list for one reason and one reason alone, and that is because of the ability to do this right here. Which, going back to the whole topic of self-fulfilling prophecy, I assure you, lots and lots of people, beginners included, have drawn this very, very basic trend line. But sometimes all it takes is basic, and while nothing is guaranteed, what I am saying is it is more than plausible. It is more than reasonable to think that if the price were to get up to that level and break up through it, that break right there in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. Again, there are no guarantees, but our job as traders is to figure out levels that seem logical, that seem plausible, right? We want to avoid randomness, and there is no way at all that anybody could accuse this trend line here as being some sort of random area on the chart. No way, not at all. A lot of people are watching that area, so it's really as straightforward as that. Let's see if the price can get up to that trend line and break above it, and if it does break above it, then let's see if it gets followed through and picks up another surge of momentum. Next one, REVB. And this is a very, very interesting chart because, I guess I was going to say because it got moving quite a bit, but to be fair, it had already been moving quite a bit, mid-morning with that big surge, then calmed down. But this afternoon, you can see just that much more volume came in, which has launched the price upwards. And, from a breakout standpoint, congratulations if you caught the breakout right there and bought that. But that's already happened, which does now bring about the question of, okay, is this all the start of something much bigger? Now, as I always say in videos, think about that question. Think about what's required for me to ask that question. Is this the start of something bigger? Well, something first needs to happen in the first place, and that did happen. It surged up through that trend line. So again, that's many stocks they don't even, nothing ever even happens with them. But something happened here, which again brings about the question. Now, to be fair, it's a two-sided coin, and maybe this just fizzles out and it's nothing. But again, two-sided coin, maybe this is the start of something much bigger, and it keeps on moving and moving, which is the whole idea of a watch list, right? You want to watch certain dynamics, and in my opinion, this is the dynamic that's certainly worth watching, especially if you like to play this price range of stock down below $5. Next one, CANO, and going back to the whole self-fulfilling prophecy conversation pattern, discussion, we have that here once again. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. So we have that area of resistance right there at $6.60. You can see the price was rejected right there, and then final 30 minutes rejected right there. So that'll be a very key level to watch headed forward. And the market closes in less than 2 minutes. So who knows? Maybe there'll be a last-second surge, and we can maybe see a breakout of that level, which is why I like to do these when the market's still open for a little bit of time. But even if it doesn't happen, just understand that 660 is certainly going to be that main area of resistance moving forward that a lot of people will be watching. And then as far as supports are concerned, you have this trend line right there. And just because let's make this a little bit prettier. Pattern-wise, there we go. Make it a little bit more proportionate. And then to get the pattern drawn out, again, we have that resistance. We have the support. We have the momentum move. We have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. But like I said, a little bit more spicy element of this is check out that last 30 minutes. The volume has certainly returned. You got the green candle. So let's see if this bull pennant is about to get a bullish upside break. Next one, ASTS, and what I like about this one, first off, is, of course, there is a lot of upside pressure. There's a nice amount of, trend in the upwards direction here that's playing out. But what I do like most is that within this context, you have ourselves a nice little pullback here. And the reason why I like that is, if you're somebody that's always like, I don't know, am I going to be the sucker that buys the top? Am I chasing? Am I suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out? In this situation, you don't have to worry about that. The suckers that bought the top, the people that were suffering from FOMO, they're the ones buying up above $11, and now the pullback has happened. Now, that doesn't mean that it'll for sure still be a winning trade, but my point here is at least that has been alleviated, and at this point, you're getting a much better risk versus reward because you're not just buying out in the middle of no man's land. So with that pullback here, like I said, it just helps the risk versus reward take better shape. And a level that stands out to me as a very interesting area, right down there, give or take around the $9.25 mark. Because even from a bigger picture point of view, which would still be a pretty big pullback, but even with that, pullback here, consolidate out. Think about what you'd still have from a bigger picture point of view. You'd still have lows there, lows down there. And if you envision those as stair steps, then from the big picture, you'd still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So if you like to play pullbacks where the pullbacks are occurring in, generally speaking, strong upward environments, then I'd definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one, Tesla, TSLA, and I am very, very anxious for tomorrow. And for you longer time viewers, you know why I'm very anxious because, like I said, if you've been following the watch list, you know that, I talk about Tesla quite a bit, and I've been continuing to talking about that trend line. Well, it's not relevant now, but let's just keep it on there. It's not really relevant now, but let's just keep it on there. Well, you know what? Guess what? It is relevant now because check out right where this thing closed. Basically right at that trend line. So yes, the big question mark on my mind, and once again, I assure you, a lot of people have drawn that trend line. That's not some sort of like complicated trend line or anything like that. I'm not trying to imply that. I'm just trying to imply, once again, the whole dynamic of self-fulfilling prophecies. So there's going to be all sorts of people watching that level and wondering, is a trend line break going to happen? Is there going to be another potential break and then surge to the upside? But you're also going to have shorts thinking, and rightfully so, or is this thing just going to get rejected and head back down? And that's always possible too, which is why risk management is so important. Because think about it. Both people are logical. Breakout players are logical. Shorts are logical. Somebody's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong. That's why you need to have risk management. But the point here is that both camps, whether you're long or short, are avoiding just randomness, right? And that's what, as I said earlier, our jobs as traders is to avoid randomness. So this level here, let's just call it 862. Going to be a very, very interesting level because that's such a key resistance level. If there are any sort of pullbacks, I'll just use this line for a little nearer term one. Then an interesting area of support potentially down around 843. But in my opinion, at least the most interesting dynamic here headed forward is all about the resistance trend line and can the break push up through it? Or are the bears going to show up and push the price back down? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class on Thursday. Like I said, it'll be Thursday, March 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So certainly get signed up for it. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, then please help me out because it does take time for me to scan, to analyze all these, and I'll continue to devote the time to doing it as long as I know you're enjoying. How can you communicate that you're enjoying? By doing two easy things. Hit the like button, leave a basic comment, say hi, just tell me a ticker symbol that you traded today, that you're watching tomorrow. But those two things, like button, basic comment, go a long way in giving me feedback that you're enjoying these. As long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to put in my time to put them together. So again, get signed up for the class if you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used. And hopefully I'll see you on Thursday.